Okay. Alright, so in the last video I made, we got the bike running. I originally thought that it was a carburetor problem. Soon discovered that it was a spark plug problem after thinking that my engine was toast. So after further inspection, I've discovered that it is not just a spark plug issue, but it's a coil issue. So this is what we call a non-CDI style ignition. It's technically known as a points ignition, but that's so antiquated that no one even talks about it anymore. So inside of this engine, there is these little things that open and close like little chopsticks. Literally, it's two little arms and they touch together and open up. And when they touch, it allows the electricity through pretty much to the spark plug, igniting the fuel air mixture, causing the bike to go forward. But I believe that they are no good on this bike. So instead of trying to scour eBay and finding some points that will fit this engine and having to go through all that, I'm going to switch it to a CDI style, which is a more modern type of ignition setup. It works well. You don't have to mess with it at all. They either work or they're burnt out. So I will be explaining how to convert that over for this specific bike. It might be applicable to other bikes, but that's up to you to decide. Okay, so I've stripped the gas tank and the seat off of the bike, so it's just pretty much bare frame with this absolute mess of wiring set up. So this is the the battery I have running my headlights and stuff. So plug that in, click that. You can see they work, but it's kind of sketchy. So I'm going to be addressing that too, but I won't really add that into the video because it's pretty boring. So what we have here is I already kind of have it mocked up. It's not great, but I have a test spark plug hooked up to the coil I'll be using, right? Yeah, you can see it all falling apart as I move it. So I have it wired up here, and this is just to give you an idea. I'll explain this more, but this is the old coil, and as you can tell right here, there's a single wire that is the power. Now that's coming out of the engine. It goes all the way up here and then out to the spark plug boot, to the spark plug, to the engine. Now we're going to be getting rid of all of that in favor of this, which is the CDI box, and that's your coil. Now I'll explain what that means in a moment here. I'm going to clean off my workbench and get everything laid out. Alright, so I've got everything now laid out on my table here. So this is just to explain what any of this crap means. So this is your CDI box. This is it's actually a type of computer technically, but it's just a bunch of little resistors in there and a bunch of fun stuff that is unimportant. So don't concern yourself about actually what goes on inside of these, because it's just numbers and crap. So well, if you make them, then it's important, but otherwise it doesn't. So what you're going to have is you're going to have your coil, which has your spark plug boot and wire attached to it. So that goes, your spark plug goes in there when it's in the engine. Now this is just a spark plug. It doesn't mean anything right now. So this is where I come in and where what I'll be doing comes in. So there's a couple wires here. You have your red one. This is for your key on power, or your battery power, and we're not going to worry about this because my battery just runs independently from everything else. It's like its own wiring harness, doesn't interfere with the engine electronics. Your white is going to be your magneto signal wire. So this is going to be basically the signal from the engine that says, hey, send a spark out. So that is intact on my bike, so we're going to be using that as, we're not going to be messing with that. So that is intact, and we'll use that. This one up here is the yellow wire, I believe no, that's the power. Yeah, that's the power to the coil, and the green one below is the ground. So these right here, these wires go to the coil. The green one's ground, the black and yellow one, is the power. So I just had them test fitted in there with just these little, butt connectors, spade connector doodad thingies. So we're going to get rid of those, and we're going to actually do this correctly. But I had them in there. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. I can. Haha. I had them plugged in just right here on these spades on the CDI box. So, but I have the pigtail wiring harness. This is all, let me just say, this is all from a Chinese mini bike wiring kit that I bought originally for this bike, but I got it running with the factory electronics on the bike, so I just put it in my parts bin. But now it's come full circle. It's almost like I saw this coming. But you can buy this whole setup for like $10. So if you ever want to retrofit your bike, it's very easy and very cheap, which I like both of those things. So I'm going to hook all this stuff up and then explain what does what once it's all together. Alright, so we've got everything all set up now. As you can tell, there's not a mess of wires that runs the length of the bike. Instead, there's just this one neat little bundle of mess. I taped out all the other wires just so it looks nicer. It was operational, it just looked like crap. So, but now I've got the new CDI style coil in there. That's the old one. That was up here. But so I've relocated it down here inside of this little box underneath the tire, or I guess above the tire, but it's, you know, under the seat along with the battery. So you can't really see too well in there. I probably should have filmed before I put it in, but the coil's on the very bottom and then the CDI box is right here. And it works. I checked it for spark and it's operational. So, and the lights, you know, work again. So I'm going to put the seat and the tank back on it and see if it'll fire up. Alright, so I got everything put back together on the bike. Everything's looking good. I didn't have to rewire any of it. I put it all on there and it's all working good. I swapped out the spark plug because I was running an old one, but it just wasn't working. So once again, got to retune the carburetor a little bit. It comes out of tune pretty easy. But I've got everything back together. It runs. I just took it for a rip. I'm not going to film it because it's dark out and you can't really see anything. But you can get an idea of like how... Oh, that's not good. What the, oh, alright, well I guess the taillight doesn't work anymore. Nope. Alright, well... Seen it here first, folks. But yeah, so the headlights are bright enough, and it had a taillight literally just until I clicked the switch. Shit. Alright, well, what are you gonna do? Guess, I guess my wiring wasn't as good as I thought. Oh well. Well, I'll find that out. That's a kind of a minor little detail. But yeah, it runs good. I'm not sure from here. I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll make sure to have a new video out pretty soon.